The world of Fallout is home to a wide selection of tools with which you can solve people problems. From sniper rifles to miniguns to thermonuclear bombs. But what if you threw all that shit out the window and proclaimed Black Powder Gang is best gang? Because what's not to love about your gun doubling as a smoke grenade as you scurry away to reload the thing for 30 seconds straight? Say hello to Johnny, a man with sexy facial hair who got shot in the head by Benny and woke up in an old man's house with nothing but his underwear on.
Oh, hello.
After assigning some carefully planned out perk points to not miss as much with a soon-to-be-mine musket, reload it faster, and crit more often, I instinctively gravitated towards the old man's bedroom. Here I found a Volker revolver, a Henry rifle, a musket, a sword, and an American Civil War uniform.
Nice.
Anyway, after taking everything that wasn't bolted down for Dosh, I wanted to make some paper cartridges for the M1861 musket. But while I checked in advance what repair skill I needed to make the cartridges, I didn't take into account that I needed repair 25 to break stuff down for the gunpowder. So I walked out of Goodsprings, grabbed a shovel, and got a second chance to assign skill points into repair, and picked Logan's Loophole and Trigger Discipline as my perks. I also tested out my sword on some geckos.
I like this thing.
After that, I put the shovel to work, as I hope to find a $200,000 army payroll by digging around the local cemetery. Spoiler, it wasn't there! Next, I used my repair skill to make some paper cartridges for my musket, just in time to fight off some powder gangers, the sworn enemy of the Black Powder Gangers. So I took the first shot and boy, does the reloading take a while. Was I regretting not putting in an additional 2 agility points. According to the wiki math science, that'd speed up my arm by an additional 20%. Can definitely recommend. Anyway, after 3 shots, I partook in a glorious charge, where I sliced Joe Cobb up and chased after the last routing survivor. Having saved the town from the powder gangers, I moseyed off to Prim to find the bastard who done shot me in the head. While along the way, I leveled up and kept ramming that rot like a nobody's business. After some time of cultivating some serious arm muscles, with some major imbalance, I arrived in Prim and was asked to rescue the local deputy from more of them accursed regular powder gangers. So I happily obliged, especially since the deputy would tell me where to go next. Luckily, it was pretty hard to miss inside of the building, yet I still somehow managed sometimes. You'd almost think that this rifled musket was a smoothbore, judging from some of the shots I've missed thus far.
What the fuck?
But anyway, after putting the last powder ganger to the sword, I had zero hesitation as I picked faster reload for obvious reasons. After that, I freed the deputy, put bringing help to the town on my to-do list, and was directed towards Nipton and Novac. Along the way, however, I decided to make a little pit stop at the Mojave Outpost. Naturally, I was interrupted by a few people along the road, but some nearby cars provided me with good cover. Plus, my uniform gave me 10 DT, which was 4 more than your standard leather armor, which was very helpful considering my obvious handicap. Anyway, at the outpost, I agreed to clear the road from some super-sized vermin. This would allow me to start building up some reputation with the NCR, whom I was of course gonna be siding with, since they were the closest thing to an actual government around here. After that, I got paid, repaired my stuff on the cheap, cause they were rated so badly, and headed to Nipton. As I approached, I leveled up, after which I saw him.
Yeah!
Following that, I came across the Legion, and couldn't let their merciless massacre of this town stand unpunished. Now, whereas you'd usually have a whole firing line to back you up, I was on me lonesome, and so I did some parkour to get on top of a roof and started slowly picking them off. Emphasis on slow. On the bright side, the gun was a lot more accurate than a little while ago, so at least I had that going for me. After a whole lot of pot shots, I found myself standing on a sweet spot where the Legionnaires would stop running for cover, leading to me actually getting some progress done. Anyway, after I was done with my debatably unnecessary bit of roof camping, I searched around the town and found a crippled powder ganger. But he had a bit much of a potty mouth.
Jesus fucking Christ! If you want me dead, just give me 15 medics and I'll fucking OD for you, okay? Fuck!
Having cooled the faker off, I headed over to Novac, where, along the way, I leveled up guns right before running into a Legion death squad.
Oh dear, we are in trouble.
So I veered off the road in an attempt to dodge them, which actually worked, then I got away. And then a second squad tried their luck at my behind.
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
And after barely dodging them, another squad showed up.
I'm getting really sick of you!
And no, they weren't all the same squad. And that last one, unfortunately, succeeded in their mission.
Am I dead yet?
Second time around, I barely lived, as I decided to just run for it. And luckily, they broke off their pursuit as I entered Novac. While I was there, I helped out Boone by finding out who done sold his wife. So I found some evidence and lured the culprit to the front of the dyno so that he could dispense justice. Following that, I found my next clue to finding Benny on the terminal and was directed to Boulder City. First, however, I went back to Goodsprings to make more paper rounds, after which I decided to make a pit stop in Sloan. But, of course, my nemesis just had to throw some dynamite at me, leaving me a cripple.
What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to chase after them? I've got no leg!
Once in Sloan, I came across someone suffering the same fate as me, failed to fix either one of us, and grabbed what I came here for. 2 permanent skill books and a generous donation of caps. From there, I tried to cut through the canyon, but some bark scorpions saved my life by luring out a death claw that would have totally divided my cheeks and I moseyed through there. Anyway, at this point, I had enough rep with the NCR to get them to police Prim. After which I leveled up my gun skill, made a pit stop at the Helios One solar array, quickly salvaged a few of those arrays for later, and arrived in Boulder City. There I talked to Jessup, the perfy looking one, where he became the first to taste
This fully operational
musket's power. Now all I had to do was to just wait and let the NCR take care of the great cons outside. Which was easier said than done, since there were a bunch of them right next to me as I exited the building. Plus, the musket was starting to drop off somewhat. A headshot wasn't enough to kill the cons. Hell, 2 headshots weren't even enough. But I provided support wherever I could, ending with me shooting the last one who broke more than just his face. Before I shot him in the face like they did to me, Jessup said that Benny lived on the strip, so I plotted a course over there, put some skill points into survival for a perk later, and came across the 188 trading post, where I was finally able to buy 44 caliber bullets for the Walker revolver and Henry rifle.
Nice.
As I approached the city's outskirts, a complimentary Legion Death Squad came out to greet me. They massacred a small trading post there, but at least I was able to win the fight. Something I couldn't have hoped to win only moments earlier. So as much as I liked spending the past years of my life ramming my rod in a hole, friendship with Musket is over. After that, I leveled up again and took the Travel Light perk.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
As I made my way to Camp McCarron to use its monorail to enter the strip, I was also met by the first of many fiends. When I arrived at Camp McCarron, the place was in a sorry state, and I could use the dosh for getting it back into shape to make myself superior at the medical clinic. So I started off by taking some hits against some especially deranged fiends. The first one I went after was also the easiest one, Driver Novac. Not because he was particularly weak or anything, but because I took a sniper squad along with me. He still got pretty close, but the Henry rifle did not disappoint. Luckily, this one had a wooden handguard, which the original did not have, leading to it becoming
Hot! Damn hot! Real hot!
and it burning your fingers after barely a magazine. Its real effective range also wasn't that great, at around 200 yards, which was luckily the range of a lot of Civil War engagements. It was so little because it A, used pistol caliber bullets, and B, because the bullets had flat tips. But why that, you might ask? Well, a bullet is shot when a pin, a firing pin if you will, hits the primer at the back of it, which sets it off. This gun has a tube magazine, meaning that the primer at the back of one bullet gets stacked on the tip of the one below it. The tip of the lower bullet can then act as a firing pin and cause the bullet that falls on top of it to go off, causing a so-called chain fire. So, best not to look into the barrel when you're loading the thing. Anyway, that's why it used flat-tipped bullets. After also collecting the exploded head of Violet, and thus getting a crap reward for it,
Or it could be someone else entirely. Can't give you a full reward.
Am I a joke to you?
it was time to fulfill the bounty on Cook, which was actually pretty easy, cause after killing his favorite Brahmin, he basically offed himself as he turned on his bodies in a fit of rage, after which I just mopped up whatever was left.
Don't kill me! I didn't mean it!
After that, I got smoother, got Silas to talk by pulling the old "You are a coward," and then he was like, "Nuh-uh," and then I was like, "Yeah-huh," and then he spilled the beans in his anger.
A very funny retardation.
Following that, I did some detective work to find a mole.
What's the status of your primary mission, Magnus?
Charges are set. Detonation will occur as the train leaves the station. Over.
And ran to the monorail I intended to use to disarm the bomb.
I'm about to blow.
No!
Next, I became even more of a risk master, picked finesse to get more crits, and took the monorail to the strip. There, I immediately went to the Tops Casino, where Swank was being a real pro, and set Benny up for me to meet. Alone.
What in the goddamn?
After leveling up again, I cleaned out the casino to really rub some salt in the wound. When exiting the Tops, I was forgiven by Caesar, spat in his face, and delivered House the platinum chip, plus some snow globes for a huge pile of caps and XP. It may have been a bad idea to upgrade all his Securitrons, but I had greed for short-term gains, you see. Oh well, that's future me's problem. Anyway, I headed to the NCR embassy and started helping with the preparations for the Hoover Dam battle, starting with getting the boomers on our side. So after successfully dodging an artillery barrage, I started getting all buddy-buddy with them. I began with listening to a history lesson. Found a teddy bear and was really tempted to be a dick. After that, I fixed their solar array with the parts I grabbed from Helios One. With that fixed, I entered the power station below it to stomp out an ant infestation. The musket, for whatever reason, exploded the gunpowder-filled ants, which shouldn't happen since it wasn't an energy weapon. So naturally, I shot them 2 more times just to make sure, after which it was time to charge in there as if I were General Pickett. God, I love this sword. Screw katanas. Give me a mass-produced cavalry sword any day of the week. Shame there wasn't a horse for me to ride on for an even more glorious charge. I'd have even ridden one of those ants if I could. Anyway, after turning the power back on, I leveled up again and took Sniper for better headshots. After which, I took a refreshingly cooling dive into Lake Mead to race a B-29 bomber from the water. With the boomers now on board, I had to pacify Freeside. I'd never set foot in that place, but me saying that was apparently a lie.
Ever been there? It's a beastly place.
In Freeside, I met with the king and played detective to uncover a bodyguard scam where ambushers were merely pretending to be dead. So I made work of it to rectify that as I fought one messy ass fight. The way that the crosshair dipped down and to the right after each shot had me miss a fair few shots. So after I'd shot all 15 rounds in the tube, I grabbed my sword to finish the job.
Come on.
After a little more detective work, the king agreed to police Freeside, after which I leveled up twice, maxed out speech, took better criticals, and was tasked to go to Hoover Dam. But on my way there, I made a little pit stop at Camp Forlorn Hope. Cause, you see, I'd found something a little silly on the mod page that I couldn't resist getting my hands on. Anyway, at the dam, my new superior ordered me to deal with the Khans. So after making myself stronger, better, enhanced,
Upgrades, people, upgrades!
I headed to Red Rock Canyon. As I arrived, I felt the sudden urge to pull a Colonel Custer. But I composed myself and decided to be civil about it, by indulging in some political assassinations instead, starting with Carl,
That one's extra dead.
followed by Papa Khan in his sleep. Though this quest never seems to work for me, so I guess I would embrace my inner Custer after all. You can say about a man what you want, but none can argue that he wasn't brave. Anyway, after dealing with the leadership, I went outside with the Walker. This bad boy didn't actually use metallic cartridges, and would take so long to reload that people would just bring several revolvers with them instead. It also had the nasty habit of exploding in your hand, because its cylinder was too weak for those big 44 caliber bullets. The last few remaining Khans I would finish off with the Gatling gun and a few good swings with the cavalry sword. These actions, of course, made me a merciful thug. Next, the Omertas on the strip had been conspiring to fight for the Legion during the Hoover Dam battle. But we had no proof, so I bribed the key for Cachino's room, stole his journal, and became his bestest friend.
Hey, look who it is. My best buddy.
He told me that the leaders were arming themselves to fight for the Legion. So, long story short, I beat the fuck out of an assassin of theirs, while none of the guards cared, which was also the right thing to do. After which, I destroyed their weapon stockpile and met with the leaders, who really hit me where it hurt.
You're gonna die of failure.
After composing myself, I pitted the leaders against each other.
The fuck?
And engaged in fisticuffs with Big Sal. Having ripped Big Sal's head off, it was time for me to face the consequences of my actions by facing Mr. House's Mark II Securitrons, which didn't end well for me. Next attempt, a stealth boy got me through unscathed, after which I severed House's connection to his robots and was tasked with finding and ending the Brotherhood of Steel. Now, I was all for people yearning for different times, in their case medieval times. But they forced me to take off my kepi, which I couldn't repair.
So you have chosen death.
Now I had to go get a new one from Goodsprings. Anyway, I was forced to see off an NCR ranger, but he was nowhere to be seen. So I just smashed his radio and called it a job well done. But my grudge against them was still burning bright, so I decided to blow them all up for stripping my ass naked. To trigger the bunker's self-destruct, I needed to get 3 keycards. So I first assassinated the personnel at the self-destruct computer, including the head scribe whose keycard I grabbed. After that, I failed to pickpocket head paladin Hardin, but he didn't seem to care that he just caught me stealing his self-destruct keycard. After that, I breathed down the Elder's neck as I successfully stole his keycard, resulting in me rigging the base to blow. During the entirety of my journey, from the bowels of the bunker to the outside, I had to look at the back of my kepi-less head. Fun story about the thing. The kepi was originally designed by the French, but the word itself originated from the German kepi, with a scary umlaut, which basically meant little hand. Yes, I was insane enough to look that up. Anyway, after one glorious battle to avenge a fallen kepi, where I gobbled up just about every different chem I had in my inventory, I had to deal with the real threat. The Mark 6 turrets. Following their destruction, I ran my ass out of there, expecting it to be all over.
Oh shit!
Nope, not doing it. I'm not fighting 3 of them out in the open, hell no! After escaping, I had to save the NCR's president from a bad case of bad decisions. So I stole a detonator from a Legion infiltrator and ran to a tower way far away to let security know about it.
The hell?
With the president evacuated,
Sayonara!
I rounded off some skills, took Adamantium Skeleton, which would save me later, and met with General Oliver. During my meeting, the Battle of Hoover Dam commenced, as the Legion had somehow forced their way into the dam without anyone noticing. The constant stream of Legion death squads rushing into the dam's interior aimed to make this an unpleasant fight. I'd have probably never made it out of there alive if it weren't for the presence of the occasional NCR Rangers and Troopers. While I was struggling to put the enemy squads down with my limited firepower, they were there to stand in line with me, soaking up enemy fire and dishing out some of their own. After fighting a grueling battle through 4 rooms of the dam, while constantly being ambushed by Legion death squads, I reached the outside. Here I attempted to use the musket once more, but its pathetic performance ended up getting one of my buddies killed.
My boy!
In
Retribution!
I launched the killer into the air. So I quickly gave up on the musket, for now, and continued fighting across the dam. Halfway through, the boomers unleashed their deadly payload. After fighting my way through the flames with a squad of rangers, I reached the Legion's camp. Before facing off with the Legate, as my buddy so eagerly did.
Embarrassing. Embarrassing.
I once more gobbled up one of every chem I had before putting one in his dome. I felt kind of compelled to fight the Legate with the musket, to show to everyone that the musket is superior to whatever they were rocking. Of course, I perched my ass on the high ground as if it were Gettysburg, as to not have Lanius violate my insides with his massive, inferiorly crafted scrap sword. As a side note, the Stonewall perk could have been very helpful and thematic here, but I was too wimpy to pick it. Pick it. Pick it!
That one's the death penalty.
Of course, this musket-only treatment didn't extend to the dozens and dozens of guards that he brought in like the cheat he was, whom I fought off using the Henry rifle. I also realized here that Steady's reduced spread in reality translated to hitting 100% of headshots at any range. At least when combined with all the other chems I was gobbling down. By the end of it all, despite the chems, I had completely used up every single drop of healing, including the chunky water. With my health quickly dwindling and the Legate having just finished fiddling with his gun, I got one last shot off on him, though now he was ready to unload. As I took one last hit, putting me down to just one pip, I charged him with my sword and bashed his head into a dozen little pieces. Whew! That couldn't have been any closer, even if I'd planned it to. Remind me to buy like 200 stim packs next time. Or just get a higher medical skill. But thanks to Johnny, the NCR was victorious. If you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing and liking the video, cause I, and the algorithm, would appreciate it. As always, I've left links to the mods in the description, and I just want to say thank you for watching. Ciao!